Hello everyone, my name is Zeotrex, and today we are doing a review of Werewolf by Night, which released in 2022, and it is Marvel, the MCU's first ever little special that they put out. So Werewolf by Night tells the story of a group of monster hunters who, after their leader has died, they now want to, they have to do a competition to where they have to get this Bloodstone to become the next leader. We follow our main character Jake and Elsa, who have to find the Bloodstone for the different reasons, and that's all I'm going to say. There will be some spoilers throughout this review, so be aware of that. So, I was kind of excited for this film. By the way, I'm gonna call this a film. I know it's like 55 minutes, but it's technically a movie. I was excited for this movie when it was first revealed at when we saw that first trailer. I was like super excited, and I'm glad to say it doesn't disappoint. I had some concerns, but after giving that some quick thinking, I was like, okay, never mind. Still have a bit of a concern, bit of a complaint, but you know, it can be counterfeited. So one thing I absolutely loved is the style of this film. It is going for that retro classic horror movie look, and I love shit like that, like Frankenstein and Dracula, and I'm glad to say that it works well. But one of my complaints that I was worried about was it gonna really recreate classic horror? So this is gonna be a bit, so let me explain. Classic horror, I was worried that maybe they weren't gonna put too much effort into this whole classic horror thing, because judging from the trailers, it did look like all they did was just slap a black and white filter over it. Because the way the camera moves, the way the camera is like positioned, it's like I'm watching a modern movie with a black and white filter put over it, and they don't do anything with like messing with the lenses, audio quality, all of that. They don't. It really is just like something. It really is just like they put a fucking black and white filter over the film. Holy shit, my goddamn eye is bugging me. It's like they put a black and white filter over the film, like I've been saying. So so that was kind of something I was concerned about when looking at the trailers, but I think I know what it is now. They aren't going for that. They aren't trying to completely recreate the classical horror look. After the scene with the Bloodstone and red started showing up, it's like, oh, okay, you know what? Never mind. The black and white was more so an artistic choice. Was more so an artistic choice and not trying to lean towards that classic horror strategy. But I mean, throughout the film there are like these little like circles that pop up from then in there, which is supposed to be like the film, you know, tearing. So I felt like they could have done a bit more, but if you view this as an artistic choice, then it works fine. I think it looks great. Another thing I have a little complaint about is Man-Thing. I love Man-Thing. Man-Thing is the best part of this thing. This Man-Thing. But what kind of bugged me, if we are going back to the whole thing that this is supposed to be recreational of, you know, horror like that, then I wish they used more practical effects, because here's the thing. Man-Thing for most of this thing is CGI. They do use some puppets, they do use some animatronics, he's a bit of a mixture, but for the most part he is CGI, which the black and white does help hide any imperfections, and don't get me wrong, I think the CGI for Man-Thing looks great. But if we are going for that classical horror route, it would have been fucking amazing to have a guy in a suit or animatronics. And it's not like, I get it, practical effects like that are a bit harder to do for something like this. But I mean, with the money Marvel has, I feel like they could have done it. He's barely in the short. He doesn't appear that much. So I felt like after maybe the spoiler alert black and white filter comes off, that's when you could have had CGI. But I think for the most part, he should have been an animatronic or a guy in a suit. Because I don't know, if we're going towards the classical horror film, where it looks a bit off-putting to see a CGI monster like that in something that looks like it's supposed to be from the 1930s or 40s or something. So yeah, the werewolf, the actual werewolf that shows up, I think that's cool. That is indeed practical effects, and I love the way the werewolf looks. Even if we don't get too much of him, I think it's great. That is another complaint I have, is really like the runtime of this thing. It's 55 minutes, which is a lot, but I think they do take a bit to get into the werewolf side of things. So yeah, the characters were great. I liked Elsa, I liked John, and I just really liked the characters and the gore. The violence actually shocked me, because with it being black and white, that means you can hide a lot of things in it. So that really shocked me that this whole thing was like bloody and bloody, was like neck slits and poke through the head and all that, dismemberment and all that. I still think Multiverse of Madness is more violent, probably because of Black Bolt's death. But yeah, I think Werewolf by Night is a great film where we have something fresh, we have something unique. We finally, this is my problem as Marvel now, and it's not really Marvel's fault if you think about it. It's just that we have so much shit now that if you want to get into the MCU now, you can't just jump in to something like Multiverse of Madness. You're gonna be like, who's Doctor Strange? Who's Wanda? Wait, Wanda has kids? What the hell is the multiverse? It's like all this other shit. I just got a message. Yeah, I already sent that to you. It's all like, it's great to have more solo stories such as this. This is something that I've been wanting for a while, just a solo superhero movie again, which I'm glad we got the Batman recently. The Batman doesn't have a shared universe with DC, but it's its own self-contained story. And like Joker, because now everything is a cinematic universe. Monsterverse, which I do like, the Sony Spider-Verse, which should go fuck off and burn in hell, Marvel Universe, and DCEU. A lot of these, Universal tried doing their Darkverse, so it's like everything is a cinematic universe now, and I just want a solo story that I don't like feel left out. Like, because Black Adam, like, I feel like if you go watch that when it comes out, it feels like, oh damn, what's going on? Shazam, Superman, what's the fuck's going on? You know, I just feel like maybe Marvel should start doing more solo stories. That way, you know, we don't have to rely on seeing something, you know? Because most of these Marvel shows are leading up to something. Loki, WandaVision led up to Multiverse of Madness. Falcon and Winter Soldier is going to lead into New World Order. Loki's going to lead into probably Quantumania, but most definitely Kang Dynasty. Hawkeye is going to lead into Echo, and I think Echo is going to be connected to Thunderbolt. Would that be? Would that? Yeah. No. Moon Knight, that's solo, completely on its own, what I love about it, but that is most likely going to connect to Midnight Suns. Miss Marvel's going to connect to the Marvels, and She-Hulk is going to connect to World War Hulk or New World Order. So, yeah, this is obviously going to connect to something in the next, but, I'm glad that we have another solo story. Sorry, I did not script this, so I kind of just needed to get this review out of the way. So, yeah. Werewolf by Night is a breath of fresh air with great effects that should have honestly took a more classic horror movie approach. If they were doing, again, my only complaint is that if they were doing the classic horror movie approach, they should have put a bit more effort into it. But it's an artistic decision, it seems like. I think it's great. Werewolf by Night gets a 9, gets an A. Glad to have more stuff like from Marvel like this. So yeah, okay. Sorry, this review has kind of been messy. Okay, hold on. Sorry. All right, sorry about that. Fenton called me. So yeah, here's what's going on with my reviews. So I'm gonna do Hocus Pocus 2 after, and then after that I'm gonna get back to Batman v Superman. I'm gonna do Batman v Superman. Have to finish watching Snyder League, which is a very fucking dreadful watch because it is so goddamn long. And then do the Star Wars reviews in between. Hellraiser. I'm hoping to do Hellraiser soon. Hellraiser, Halloween Ends, Black Adam. Let's hope I can keep on this, because I know I say that I'm going to do these reviews, and then I just end up not doing them. I hope I can keep up on this, you know. So, sorry this review is a bit late. I know it's 2 days, but yeah. Until then, have a very spooky time, everyone.